All right.
What a drag.
Let's talk about the Kai versus Soul matchup. So this is a particular matchup that is very Master Fight heavy, and we're going to see that in a second. But this is a matchup where I've been struggling in a lot lately, even more so than versus Valentine, although I'm still having difficulty with that one as well. So the Kai versus Soul matchup is a very aggressive matchup on both sides. Both players are very, very aggressive, where Soul is obviously just going to be spreading like crazy, and Kai is going to be trying to elbow the shit out of Soul because, as we all know, the elbow is ridiculous. So, a lot of the stuff in this matchup is similar to the Sin Kai matchup, except that Kai can be a lot more aggressive than Soul. Than Sin, in terms of fighting. Sin wants to prioritize putting servants all over the place and killing a whole bunch of servants where Soul can't react to it. Kai is a lot of doing a similar strategy, but instead of killing servants, killing Soul. Soul's killing a whole group of swordsmen on the front line, elbow the fuck out of them. Soul is, doing some backline pushing and stop for a second, elbow Soul, So, if you don't have a lot of familiarity with Master Fighting, you should probably stick away from Kai. But at the same time, Kai is also a very strong Master Fighter and a very competent Master Fighter, so it can help you with that a lot. That's why I like playing Kai over Sin nowadays, because Kai can hold himself a lot easier in a fight, and I really like that about him.
What a drag.
While he's not insanely broken like Soul or Paradigm is, he's still a very, very strong character and is often considered to be a very high-tier character in 1v1. But again, a lot of the tier lists in this game are subjective, and a lot of players don't like going by tier lists. But anyways, let's start by diving into his units. Alright, so let's first start talking about build orders for this matchup.
What's the current situation?
Okay, shut up. So, a lot of the discussions I had with a few people is about how to approach this matchup in terms of build orders and army composition. So, ideally, the general build order for this matchup is Swordsman, Gauntlet Bodies, Quaddro Ballif or Springbok in whatever order, and we'll talk about that in a second, and then lead into the other one. And then Heaven's Libra, Convict Hammer, Twin Trigger. So, Heaven's Libra and Convict Hammer can also kind of be swapped around, but generally it's safer to go with Heaven's Libra first. A little bit tricky to discuss that one, but I don't know too well, but this is generally what you want to do. Swordsman, Gauntlet Body, Quaddro Ballif, Springbok, in some order, and then Heaven's Libra, Convict Hammer, and Twin Trigger. So, let's talk about each unit individually. Swordsman, you're going to be using a lot in this matchup, more so than any of the other matchups in the game. The reason is because swordsmen are incredibly useful against Queen. So magic units have an equal footing with melee units. They both deal 150% damage to each other. So, swordsmen actually have a lot of range. They have that jumping attack, and they have that lunge attack, which does a lot of damage to ghosts. So, if you place a lot of swordsmen all over the place, you can help circumvent against an inevitable Queen rush, whereas if you rush a lot of Gauntlet Bodies, Queen will absolutely destroy all of them. Even something like Firewheel can deal with them pretty quickly. Even though they are armor units, Firewheel can still do a lot of damage to them. And even Soul. Soul can destroy Gauntlet Bodies very fast with Dragon Install. And I mean incredibly fast. Same with Swordsman too, but yeah, so this matchup is going to be a lot of Swordsmen, especially in the early game, to fight against the Drill Rush, to fight against map control, and ultimately to help prevent against Queen. So you're going to be using a lot of Swordsmen. They're extremely strong, more powerful than Drills, especially when they have Ghost Buff on. Although a large group of drills can destroy swordsmen fairly easily, in a lot of confrontations, swordsmen will always win, unless the drill is level 3 and has ghost buff. But you're going to be utilizing swordsmen a lot, and you can also utilize them by having them go off by themselves a lot in this matchup because they can withstand drills very strongly. Obviously, Soul can kill swordsmen very quickly. However, if they are level 3 with a ghost buff, they are very tough to take down, even for Soul. So you're going to be using a lot of swordsmen in this matchup. Gauntlet bodies you're going to get early, and you're going to use them for spreading. You're going to use them a lot for spreading on the front line usually, and spreading to cause a lot of backline pressure. You might also use them on their own to help to combat a backline or to help combat a front line. But you're generally never going to summon more than 2 units of Gauntlet bodies at a time in this matchup because of, like I said, Queen can absolutely destroy them. Soul can absolutely destroy them, so you don't want to use them a lot. I was having this discussion with Inutaro on Twitter, and basically he told me that you should be using Gauntlet bodies for spreading, especially with Ghost buff, because they take a long time to take out, and it helps, and it puts pressure on Soul, puts pressure on those drills that are coming to that Ghost, and because they just destroy drills, right? And it forces Soul to use Dragon Install, obviously, but if you spread them out well enough, it's hard. It's not as quickly that they're taken out, I guess you can say. It's not as like detrimental if you have them in a standard 1 Gauntlet body 3 swordsman unit where Soul can just blow that up very quickly. You're much useful spreading out these Gauntlet bodies because of the fact that they can be very strong on their own in this matchup and can put a lot of pressure on Soul. But yeah, you're normally not going to have more than 1 or 2 units of these up at a time. Springbocks are kind of similar. So I talked about before how Springbocks and Quaddro Ballif you might unlock in a different order. Springbocks are generally used, or obviously very strong against Gigant, and are very, 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 very strong against Blades. So if the Soul is going for an early Blade Rush, Springbocks early is of course very strong. Or if he's going for a Gigant Rush, then you obviously want to get a decent amount of Springbocks. I don't know if having more than 1 unit out at a time is a good idea, and how to really group the Springbocks in this matchup. They can help against Queen. You're probably going to see Springboks swordsman compositions in this matchup, which might be very common to do, but I'm not entirely sure. You definitely want to get Springboks in the mid-game, though, to help against Blades, because Swordsman Gauntlet Bodies, while they are pretty good against Blades, Springboks obviously will just decimate them. So, yeah. Wiseman. Don't buy Wiseman. Twin Triggers. Very late-game unit. Not really used that much in this matchup. Twin Triggers are really only used in the Valentine Raven matchup. Other than that, you're not going to see them too often. Very, very late game unit. Other than that, don't buy them. Alright, so the elites. Quaddro Ballif is going to be your first elite, without a doubt. Why? Because of Queen. You're going to be your main anti-Queen unit next to Swordsman. But you need to be careful. And the reason why you need to be careful is Quaddro Ballif is very vulnerable to Soul, and I mean extremely vulnerable. While he's a very, very good support unit for Master Fighting and an excellent Pokemon unit, an elite unit where you keep in your inventory and just summon him when you need him, he can really get killed by Soul very fast. So put him on a lane where Soul isn't, put him on a lane that's grouped with a lot of swordsmen, use him as an anti-Queen unit, and just push hard with him, and if Soul's about to kill him, get up there and help him as soon as you can. Or use him in your inventory to hunt Soul down. In this matchup, you're probably going to do that more, because you want to hunt Soul down with Kai, because Kai can do that a lot better than Sin can. So you might want to be using Quaddro Ballif for that. Heaven's Libra is generally going to be your next unlock. Sometimes you might get Convict Hammer first if you're ahead, but Heaven's Libra is usually more important. Heaven's Libra is very, very vulnerable to Soul, even more so than Quaddro Ballif, for about the same. Heaven's Libra, however, is insanely strong, no matter which matchup it is. Heaven's Libra is going to be your main pocket unit in this matchup for the reason that you can just absolutely make giant pushes with Heaven's Libra. You need to be very careful with using Heaven's Libra against Soul, obviously, because Soul will just immediately free 8 exit, knock it away, Volcanic Viper, and it's dead. But a level 3 Heaven's Libra is pretty menacing. You know, against Blade Rushes, Heaven's Libra is fantastic. It does struggle again. Actually, yeah, Heaven's Libra is really only countered in this matchup by Soul, or unless he brings a bunch of pencil guys. Or I guess a bunch of drills could maybe... No, drills will get destroyed by him. So he's really only vulnerable to Soul, but if Soul sees a Heaven's Libra in a party, he's going to kill Heaven's Libra. Like, he's just going to kill him. So, use Heaven's Libra for big pushes, but don't leave Heaven's Libra by himself. I would say Heaven's Libra is going to be more Pokemon unit than Quaddro Ballif in this matchup, but early on, you're probably going to want to keep Quaddro Ballif in your inventory or put him on a lane where Soul isn't paying attention to, and then try to divert Soul's attention away from where that unit is. Oops. And Convict Hammer is going to be your main late-game push unit. Convict Hammer, however, dies very fast to Soul because he can easily be comboed. But if Convict Hammer is level 2 or level 3, group him up with a bunch of Springbocks. Yeah, that's... Or Convict Hammer Heaven's Libra is a very strong army composition as well. It can just devastate, you know, a lot of things. So, that's pretty much it. Most of your composition is going to be Swordsman with a few Gauntlet bodies, although your Gauntlet bodies are going to be a little bit more spread out. Probably going to have some Springbocks in there too. Quaddro Ballif is probably going to be with a bunch of Swordsmen. This, however, is very easily countered by Blades, so you need to be careful of that. If you have a Swordsman Quaddro Ballif composition and they are encountered by a large group of Blades, that can be a problem, or even a group of 3 Blades, that can be a problem. You should probably go and assist them in some way, or even have Springbocks to group with your Swordsman. So yeah, just some things to consider. But the reason why Quaddro Ballif is very good in this matchup is because he's your main anti-queen unit and a very strong master fighting support unit as well. So yeah. So I guess I'll mention this. For skills, you're going to buy Charge Stun Edge, absolutely, 100% of the time. You need to be able to deal with large groups of drills, and this is very good against that. Soul Diver... Yeah, probably going to be used for endgame pushes, but besides that, not that much. And Divine Gaze if you're ahead, and then cast it on a Convict Hammer. You know? So, for items, obviously Dispel. Soul players in this matchup love to rush early Crimson Jacket. So, Dispel in this matchup is mandatory. Anti-rods, anti-melee rod is going to be your primary rod in this matchup for Fire Wheel and for large amounts of drills. Anti-armor rod you might need if he's using a large blade rush, or if he's doing something like a gigant rush, you're going to want to use this. Don't buy anti-mobile rods. In a situation where you're playing as something like Nighttime, you're probably going to be buying a lot. You're probably going to want to make sure an anti-melee rod is always up on rotation because of Fire Wheel, right? Fire Wheel is an incredibly strong unit. Anti-melee rod is made to destroy him, so you're going to need that. In matchups where anti-rods are not available, you're probably going to be buying tension potions, and the reason is to get Ride the Lightning off. So yeah. Other items that are useful, any Master Fighting items are very strong with Kai because he is... The only skill he really needs is Charge Stun Edge. So the other type of your mana is going to go into Master Fighting items, especially since you want to shut Soul down. The items that are really strong against Soul, Rapid Fire, Mouth Zipper, and Banana. Not in really any particular order, but these 3 items. Banana for, obviously, if he's rushing you, you can't get him off you. There you go. Mouth Zipper to deny him any sense of using any items on you, but specifically Crimson Jacket shutdown, very strong. And Rapid Fire is obviously just a really strong item. Heavy Feet can be useful if you want to secure a kill, but I would probably get Mouth Zipper over that, or Rapid Fire, because Kai has a lot of ways to prevent escape using Stun Edge, so that's pretty useful as well. Yes, and I think that's it. So, lots and lots and lots of swordsmen. Spreading gauntlet bodies. Springbocks are probably going to match with swordsmen, or maybe match with a gauntlet body group. But yeah, their Springbocks help a lot with blades. Quaddro Ballif for anti-queen, anti-drills, master fighting support. Heaven's Libra as your main Pokemon unit, used for big pushes, used for really making advances on the front lines if you're having trouble with a particular lane, and for turning the tides of a fight. But just be very careful. Both of these units, they're very vulnerable to Soul. Convict Hammer to hopefully get out a big push. If you have the mana to use them with Divine Gaze and group them with Springbox, go for it. And then Wiseman Never Buy, Twin Triggers, very end-game late unit. Probably not going to use them, though, because by the time you hit end-game, he's probably going to do Gigant Rush, and by that point, you're going to want Heaven's Libra Springbox and an Anti-Armor Rod or something like that.
What a drag.
So let's talk a little bit about the master fighting in this matchup, because a lot of your focus is going to be on master fighting in this matchup. Generally, your general strategies with this matchup is to put in lots of swordsmen on the field to help with the map control and help spread out some gauntlet bodies to put on map pressure, and not too many so you can deal with the queen, and to stop Soul from killing a large group of swordsmen because they're so expensive, and Kai can do a very good job at it.
What a drag.
So I have a video looking at how Kai is very strong, but I'll tell you this. Some of the moves you're going to find extremely useful: 4x, 5x, and 2x. 4x is good poke, 5x is decent poke, 2x is really good close range poke, as you probably know. You can go into a lot of stuff with it. Stun Edge is going to be used a lot in this matchup. You can just do backup Stun Edge to keep Soul at bay, Stun Edge to prevent him from escaping, Stun Edge for combo advancing, all that kind of fun stuff. Some of the stuff you're going to want to use for like interesting setups is obviously 2x into this, which goes around guard. Also gets to knock him away, or do something like this. Knock him away. Standard combos, all that kind of stuff that you're gonna want to know. So a lot of really good poking with Soul. You're really gonna have to try to get in on him and just make sure you get in a lot with him with your elbow and just try to rush him down more than he rushes you down. If you're on the defense, quick sidesteps with 2x is very good, or quick sidestep with a 5 or 4x poke can be very good. Kai is a very hit-confirm heavy character, very similar to Sin. So you're going to have to really react quickly to hit confirms, because Kai can do a lot off the hit confirm.
What a drag.
If you get this off, you can do that. If you get a 2x off, you can lead to a whole bunch of stuff. A 5x off can go into this. All that kind of stuff. An 8x off, you can go into, oops, not a cancel, but, a forced get up into more pressure. So yeah. Another trick that's going to be really useful when fighting Soul is your free 8x. Because your free 8x has super armor. And because Soul has Volcanic Viper, which is also his main super armor move, you're going to be using this a lot to get around a lot of Soul's main attacks and to just try to get in on him. Or knock him down or something like that. Some other things that are really useful, Reaper Thrust is also useful for getting out of situations, but it's a very large commitment and is nowhere near as strong as Volcanic Viper. So you're generally going to try to use Reaper Thrust if he's trying to rush you down and you want to cancel and get out of there. But you're generally not going to use it in a lot of other situations because it's a very high commitment. As you can see, if you miss it, or if he blocks it or something, you're dead. Bursting against Soul is pretty tricky. There's a lot of setup Soul can do to prevent you. It's like if he goes into something like this, you burst it. Well, I messed it up, but he can easily block the burst and just 3-8x you out of, and just fucking destroy you. Yeah. It's the 5x that's really what you need to look out for, because Soul's 5x can go into, a lot of different stuff. So, So yeah. And of course, you know, he has a lot of guaranteed guard break setups and a lot of ways to prevent you from escaping and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know fighting that well in this game. It's a lot of intuition for me, and a lot of stuff is just me being stupid and hoping for stuff to work. But your general basic stuff for Kai applies here when going against Sol, because it's a very standard one-on-one close quarters encounter battle, because they're both very rushdown heavy characters, especially Kai with the fucking elbow. And Kai can do a lot to pick Sol off and get him into a situation where Sol has difficulty defending himself and getting out of it. Now, obviously, if you're doing something on Sol and you just charge in, he's probably just going to Volcanic Viper you. So be very careful against that. And there's a lot of things you can do to try to prevent against Volcanic Viper. Just be mindful of it when it's up. Sol can also burst Kai very easily because of Kai's combos, which usually often lead to a lot of overcommitment, like something like this. You know, then you try to go into something else and he bursts you out of it. So be very careful in that situation as well. You could try to counter burst him to, you know, keep pressure on him and just keep trying to single him out, but yeah. In Mass Warfares, this is where things get tricky. Kai struggles a lot in Mass Warfares, but
what a drag.
You want to try to rush Sol down a lot, but you also want to make sure you're not overcommitting. And this is a mistake I make quite a lot with all my characters, is I get into a situation, Liz, so like here's Sol, right? Let's say there's a bunch of drills in front of him, I'll go back here. And I'll be like trying to deal with him here. You know, this is a good idea. And then a bunch of more drills are coming, and I'm surrounded by drills, getting hit from all sides, and then Sol's just like, alright, you're dead, you know? So, some ways to get around that.
What's the current situation?
Charge stun edge, knock them up. Use stuff to knock servants away. Use 4 and 6 wide to knock servants away. Any type of AoE tools at your disposal to try to get at Sol while also keeping servants away from you, but not overcommitting yourself to where you're getting into a position of danger. Now, you obviously can get in a lot easier than Sin, who basically has to stay behind his servants, but same sort of rules apply. You don't want to go crazy, but you want to definitely try to be more aggressive. Because you're Kai, and you can do that. Wow, I fucked up my combo. You get the idea, right? So very, very master fighting dependent matchup for sure. There's going to be a lot of master fights in this match. But you want to trigger them more than Sol. That's the important thing. You want to make sure that if Sol's killing your swordsman, elbow him. If Sol's going after Quaddro, elbow him. If Sol's about to kill Heaven's Libra, get him the fuck off him. You can get on Sol and never get out. This is why Sols will rush Crimson Jacket. This is why Sols will rush stuff like Bananas and Rapid Fire against Kai. I even see a lot of matchups where Kai will chase Sol down. Because Kai, if he has nothing better to do, and there's a lane that those swordsmen are dealing with, you want to deal with Sol. Kai wants to initiate fights with Sol. So, yeah. It's a very master fighting heavy matchup, because Kai has such a strong master fighting game against Sol, in comparison to other characters like Sin. Sin wants to defend his servants. Kai wants to kill Sol. That's a good way of putting it, I think. Alright, so that's the basis of the matchup.
What a drag.
To my knowledge. So let's watch some replays, and let's go over stuff how to not do it, and then let's look over some other matches as well. Alright, let's look over some replays. So, these are the replays that I had against Sol Bad Guy earlier today, and let me just say that Sol Bad Guy's Sol is very aggressive. It is extremely aggressive, and I haven't played against a very, very aggressive Sol, especially not at a good connection. So for me, this has been a learning experience, for sure. But let's just look at these, and let me show you how to not play this matchup, and kind of ultimately sort of what went wrong here. So I have 3 matches in this matchup in particular. The first one is the worst one. The other ones aren't as bad, hence why I saved them down here. So let's take a look. Now, forgive my really lackluster ability to talk about stuff. Like, I'll probably mention a few things and then, like, kind of lose my trail of thought because I don't really know what I want to say.
Round 1, let's rock.
Because I am still really trying to learn this game again and learning what exactly is going on in a match and what exactly should be done differently. But in this match, I think I know. So we're going to talk about it a little bit here. So for this, okay, so let me explain the openings here. Can you see my mouse? I think you can. Yes, you can see my mouse. Okay, good. So I like to do a 3 opening start on Illyria 1. Now this is a really good replay to talk about the difference between openings. As you're going to see, Soul Bad Guy is going to choose a 2-servant opening, and what he does immediately after that is he has an advantage when it comes to taking out my servants earlier. But he also makes a mistake, which I'll show in a second, which benefits me. But he approached this opening interestingly, but I think I know why he did this opening. Okay. So the other thing is I don't really know, and this is something I'm going to ask you guys, and I'm probably going to ask some Japanese players about this as well. When you're doing an opening against specific characters, when should you react to a 2 opening or a 3 opening? So, for example, in this matchup, I knew he was doing a 2 opening because I heard him use his blast drive. So, with that in mind, what mindset should I have going into this? Should I say, oh, I should rush a 2 setup, a 2 opening, and rush him down? Or should I continue my 3 opening, try to do the Ride the Lightning? He's obviously going to come and try to kill me at that point. Or just do a 3 start and then run back and deal with his drills. I don't know. Okay, the answer to that is I don't know. So if anybody wants to clarify that or anybody has some discussion on that, I'd love to make a discussion on that sort of openings. Anyways, let's continue, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So I'm doing my standard 3-servant opening on Illyria 1. And because I also spawned on the left side, I consider doing that opening more. Because when you spawn a Sinkai on the left side of Illyria 1, you can start with 3 swordsmen. This is the only map you can do this on, and the only position you can do this on is this side. So you can see now he actually did a 2-servant opening, and he's rushing. So let's watch his opening. By the time he's here, I actually have a little bit of a delayed macro here, and I'm running out. So I'm almost certain that these 2 positions here were made because he saw I was going for a 3 start. This is a lot safer because he can immediately run back and deal with my servants faster because I did a 3 start because my spreading is going to be slower. Right? So this is a decently strong opening because this secures this here. Right? And this also secures this path here. It doesn't, however, secure up here and doesn't secure down here whatsoever. So I actually have a very strong push going down here or going up this way, which I see that when I do this matchup. But the problem is this section up here is a lot more important than down here because you can get up here a lot faster than going down this way. So while I should have just had these 3 swordsmen come down here, well, I'll explain this in a little bit, but yeah, you'll see how this kind of bites me in the butt a little bit. But here's what happens after that. So immediately following this opening, he's doing what I expected. He's going to try to rush me down. And this is the first question. I would assume he was immediately trying to take out the servants. That's why he stopped here. And I'm continuing on my merry way. Right? So he's going to deal with this swordsman, which is what I would do, which I would have done as well. I don't crash. And I have Ride the Lightning up. So I see his drills are coming down this way. Oh, well, that's perfect for me. I'm going to do a Ride the Lightning. And unfortunately, he's a little too late before I get that off. So now I see him in my camera angle. I see him running down here. So I'm just like, all right, I need to get the fuck out. And fortunately, I don't know what happened here. I get out. I thought, like, I run right past him. I thought he was going to hit me, but he didn't. So I got really lucky here, honestly. But now, obviously, he's just going to deal with my swordsman. And here's where things start to go wrong. I should have left these 3 swordsmen alone. Alright, I should have left these 3 swordsmen alone. As you can see right now, the economy difference is pretty big. I have 2. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not so great. And for some reason, you know, this is a major part of this map. For some reason, I pick up one of these servants here and then run over here, leaving this completely occupied. So, what do you think Soul's gonna do? He's gonna see me down here. Oh, you left this wide open. Dead. Dead swordsman. That's a group of dead swordsmen right there. Well, shit. That sucks. So, this is exactly what happens. Now watch this. I think I'm being clever here because I'm like, oh, I'll pick these guys up and I'll make some placements, but no.
There's no problem.
I only pick one of them up anyway, so it's kind of pointless. And I put them down here. Even more pointless. And I come from this weird back angle, which is just... Nah, man. I should be supporting these swordsmen here. I really should be. Killing this drill, picking up these swordsmen, making placements up here. Not this. Oh, man. This is... Yeah, because, like I said, this here is much stronger. And you're going to see that. These drills here are on retreat. They're going to just run right past all these... They're going to run past anything I have over here. And so I'm like, all right, let me deal with these drills then. Because he's going to deal with my... Because I know at this point, he's going to be dealing with my swordsman down here. So I can deal with his drills, and that's a decent trade, right? Not necessarily. And it's also not even a good trade. Because first off, I have low tension, so I can't even kill these guys that quickly. And second off, swordsmen are obviously a lot more expensive than drills, right? But additionally, I don't even make a commitment to this play. I don't even make a commitment here. I kill like 2 drills, pick up my swordsman, and then run away. And you'll see that, like, this is just weird. So he's obviously, yeah, making the placement here, and then he sees this. This is free.
Enemy master detected.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, you're gonna kill my drills? All right, I'll just kill all your swordsmen. They also don't have ghost buff up.
Enemy master detected.
Look at this. This is not good.
Enemy master detected.
So now, really, really late. So look, those drills who were running back by here, they're now here. And those swordsmen, which I should have been using to push this lane, to spread on this lane, they're all dying. They're all dying here. So, what should I have been doing? Running back to my MG, killing that drill, picking up those swordsmen, knocking that drill down, making placements on this lane. And then if Soul came down here, fight Soul. Right? Same sort of idea, as I was saying before. You want to initiate fights with Soul if he's killing swordsmen. Don't leave your swordsmen in large open groups like this, pretty much ever, because this is going to happen. You should be, at this point in time, running back to pick up those swordsmen which have gathered up at a ghost that they're being distracted at. Right? And not letting Soul do something like this. As you can see, I'm reacting to this way too late.
There's no time.
And you can use it, of course. Now you can look at this fight a little bit here.
We're done.
That should have hit me. That didn't hit me.
We have arrived at our destination.
There's an instant
We
burst.
have encountered the
And
enemy
he's just going to try
master.
to, yeah, kill these guys now. Hit the 8x to make sure he can. I'm going to pick these swordsmen up. But now look at this. While that's happening, look at all these drills he's got up here already. And he's got more on the way. He's gonna keep pushing this. If I would have pushed this lane earlier, this would have prevented those drills from immediately coming to this spot, and it would also put pressure on this lane over here. Because look, these swordsmen here, they're pushing this bottom lane fine. I have this lane under control. Obviously, this swordsman wouldn't be here, but yeah. Like, and then I could have had one of the swordsmen come up here and take this spot here. So thinking about this now, that opening I did was not really that great, and that really kind of fucked me up, because then what happens is I get into this fight, I'm all disoriented from dealing with those drills. I don't have any tension. I don't even have ghost buff, and I'm trying to engage a full health soul when I'm like, yeah, and things go wrong. Now, of course, this is also just me being bad at fighting, because he's gonna, yeah. His 5x goes through my 2x, and I'm
We have
done.
encountered the enemy master.
And because he's here, right, because he had pressure here, he's just going to MG rush me. Went down to 20%. He can do a lot of damage to that. No problem. Perfect play. This ghost here is so... These two ghosts here are so close to the Master Ghost, you can do this without being contested at all. Especially when there's no swordsman here, because all the swordsmen are dead. Now he's going to jump cancel a lot here. Frankly, I should have noticed him jump canceling a lot, because he does this, and just immediately jump cancel it after like a 2x or something like that. But I do catch him off here because he does get hit by a swordsman, and I secure a kill.
We got them.
Now immediately following this, I should be doing with these drills. But look at how much mana he's sitting on right now. Yeah, these ghosts here, I mean, all right, it's pretty even. I do have economy advantage here, but
Master Ghost under attack.
I guess I'll.
all right, we're actually pretty even. So forget what I just said there. But he is going to unlock clean, as you just saw. So that sucks. But I then realized, oh well, maybe I should be doing this instead. But what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here, you think? Look at all the drills massed up there. Sees a swordsman, kills him. I should contest him there, right? Obviously. And then help his large groups of drills over here. So what's he going to do?
We have encountered the
Oh, hey, look,
enemy
I see a
master.
low health swordsman.
Leave it in your hands now.
Oh, he made another placement over here? Alright. Deal with him. So, look at this. Over here. Look at all of these drills versus those few amounts of swordsmen. And they all have ghost buff? Yeah, that's not great. Now, these two placements are going to help a little bit. But I need to kill these drills fast. Otherwise, things are going to get bad. Unfortunately, you're going to see what happens. And we'll see exactly what happens. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you're going to kill all my drills? Nah, man.
We have encountered the enemy master. We have
Now,
encountered
frankly,
the
this is
enemy
completely my
master.
fault for getting caught out here, but look, he's going to take the ghost anyway. Now he's got ghost buff. Things are going great. Things are going great. We're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And that's GG. So... yeah, the opening was not fantastic, to say the least. There could be a lot of things done better there, for sure. That would have helped put off pressure of that lane and prevent him from making that big of a push there, and would have helped a lot. But unfortunately, that's not how things went, and things went horribly wrong. But it also contributes to my shit skills in fighting. All right, let's look at replay number 2.